We're at the halfway point of the NHL season. We're actually past the halfway point of the fantasy season, unless you're in a roto format. So I figured we should sort of take a look at the first half MVPs by position, if that sounds good to you, my friend.
All right, let's do it. And we are going to start with a guy that I acquired in a very lopsided trade this year, which was Sam Reinhart, forward. Obviously, I got him and Pavel Mintyukov, and I don't remember who I traded, but it was like I think it was Eric Carlson and a goalie that Vitek Vanacek. I think that was a trade, and that worked out very well for me in that trade.
Nice. I traded Cole Caulfield and Minchikov for Miro Heiskanen. Okay, so Sam Reinhart. He was going off the board on average as the 97th player when Yahoo drafts were starting. And he's currently, at least in my scoring system, the number 7 player. And he's second in the NHL in goals. He's right hot on the tail of Austin Matthews. He's 10th in points. So you've turned such a massive profit if you drafted Reinhart. And not surprisingly, the team in first place in my league has Sam Reinhart. Those are the types of players. It's not the Connor McDavids. It's the player who produces like a first round pick that you get way later. It's like a cheat code, right? So there's one gem in my league that has Reinhart. He's in first place. But that said, we're talking about what he's done. So first half MVP. He's shooting 27.8%, highest in the NHL. You need to sell high. This is exactly what happened with Bo Horvat last year. The numbers are almost identical to what Bo Horvat did in the first half. Same thing, contract year player too. Bo Horvat was on pace for 60 goals in the first half, and then he cratered in the second half because of regression. So even though Sam Reinhart has been great, I'm giving you your virtual medal for fantasy MVP, it's time to trade him. You could get a really nice return, find someone who's more of a buy low, more of a consistently established first round type of player. That's what you should do with Sam Reinhart, even though he's been amazing.
Okay, would you do the same for the first half defensive MVP, Noah Dobson?
I would not. I think what Noah Dobson's doing is more sustainable. Yes, he's the defense MVP. ADP was 111.6, and he is the number 3 fantasy defenseman on the year and number 17 overall player in fantasy, tracking for roughly a point per game season. Massive asset in the blocks department as well, if you count that as a category. And I've said it recently, he's sort of becoming a Dougie Hamilton type player to me in terms of the overall skill set. Right shot, big guy, can contribute to multiple categories. And with the pedigree, with his age as well, I'm believing everything that he's doing. So I would not be selling high on Noah Dobson.
I'm really happy to see Dobson playing the way he is. When I used to have a TV show on a local network, and one of the things about that was the co-host I had was huge into Noah Dobson. Like, this guy's going to be a star, and he did not play like we were hoping he would for a few years, and I was starting to give up on him. But from a high end standpoint, but now seeing the way he's playing this year, it's awesome. I'm glad to see how well he's playing. Going in net, Connor Ingram, a guy that I would never have even put in the conversation for first half MVP in net.
Yeah, and I'm actually surprised when I went to look up his average draft position. I thought it was going to be blank, like I thought it was going to be undrafted, but it was 119.7, so he was being drafted in plenty of leagues as a number 2 goalie. So I guess people had or number 2 Coyotes goalie, number 5 fantasy goalie, wherever he was. People had faith in a bit of a Coyotes rebound, evidently, but no one could have predicted he would be a top 3 fantasy goalie in the first half, which he was, behind only Hellebuck and Demko. 5 shutouts already for Connor Ingram. And I wrote down, like, I guess I'll swear here in my notes. I just said proof that goalies are bullshit, because they are. And I don't mean that as an insult to goalie. I'm saying there's so many good ones that it's just the randomness of the position. It's just unbelievable. And it's a reminder to not overpay. Maybe you can take one stud goalie, but fill out the rest of your goalies with flyers, because and I don't mean Philadelphia Flyers. I mean Fliers, because you just see this happen every single year. There are guys busting out of nowhere. And Connor Ingram is that guy this year. He and Joey Daccord, that's 2 of the top 4 fantasy goalies this year, are those 2. Who in a million years would have predicted that? Their own parents would not have predicted that.
I would have expected both those guys to be have a better chance of being full-time AHLers this year than being fantasy MVPs. So, yeah, I never want to agree with the fact that goaltenders in fantasy hockey are completely stupid. I always like to draft a really good goalie that I can rely on every single year. However, my goalies I drafted in one of my leagues, Shesterkin, Ottinger, have spent a lot of time injured at points this year, and Shesterkin's just not played the way he should. In my other pool, I've had Demko and Georgiev, and Demko was great. Georgiev, I never know if I could rely on him. He tends to allow a lot of goals too many times, but it is what it is.